Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use our Sonic Boom series horns and how to correctly hook everything up real quick. And I'm just going to do a demo here on a battery here, so keep in mind that you will be using a 12 volt power source, whether it be a fuse block or cutting into a 12 volt wire or using your battery. But I just wanted to show you the kit here and what's included in the kit. Okay, so first you'll get a bag here. It comes with the thumb drive. Right, you'll have your thumb drive. It comes with a 1 gig thumb drive, right? So right there's the thumb drive, and you just open it right here. When you plug it into your computer, there's the part you plug into your computer to upload your sounds to your thumb drive. Okay. You also will get power cable. Okay, full power cable out. Okay, here's what the power cable looks like, guys. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to make it longer here. You'll need to splice into it your own black and red wire. And when you get it, you'll need to take these two wires and carefully split them apart here, because they are connected there at the end, and make a wire like that. Okay, so just split it apart and then connect you a longer wire. Depends on how long you want it. Why we haven't included a long wire, because people have different lengths and so forth. So be sure to find you a black and red wire here, and the length you'll need to connect to the amp. And this is the end that connects to the amp. Okay, next you'll have your cable, just in case you don't want to use the thumb drive, and we'll show you the difference here in a few minutes. You can also plug in to the back of the amplifier your two cables here, and you can hook up your phone here, or maybe an iPad, any kind of mobile device, MP3 player, your phone, like I said, a pad, tablet, something like that you can play sounds through. But you really don't need to use this. This is an extra in case you want to use it in any cases. But what we found is that the USB drive gives you louder sounds than just hooking the phone up through the cable. So, but the cable's included in case you need the cable, okay, and you want to use that. But there's your thumb drive. So everything comes in the bag here like this, guys. Everything will come in the bag, okay? Alright, now you will also be getting a box like this. So some kits will have one horn, some two horn. It depends on what you order. If you order a one horn system, then you'll get the one horn. And this is what the X series horn will look like. It's a 6-inch horn. And now if you're watching this and you got a double treble unit, they're smaller horns, but it's the same hookup, the same thing. So, and if you also, this is the X1 series amp, guys. If you bought the X2 series, the amp's a little bit different, but it's the same technique here, the same horn. It's the same steps that you need to go through to make it work. Okay, so you'll get a horn here, guys. And you just take the wires here and get the length that you want, whatever length that you want, add to it, and you'll be hooking up the amp, and we'll show you how to hook it up to the amp. Okay, so you'll get a horn, or if you want two horns, or you got a double treble series, then you'll get the smaller horns and so forth. So it depends on the kit you get. All right, so there's the horn we'll be using. Okay, and we'll get the wires out here. Next, go ahead and open up the amp here, guys. I'm going to lay the horn flat because these things are pretty loud, so I don't want to blast my ears out. Next, you get the amp box, guys. So you open up the box. Simple. Get the amplifier out. Pull it out. Right? And then I got the remote control in my hand here. There's the amplifier. Okay. And you also will get a remote control. Some people use the remote control, some people don't. But there's a remote control in case you want to use it. And you'll have to play with it and figure out the buttons and so forth. There's volume control on it. And skipping and stuff. And it's got the FM functions too. You can also have FM radio built into the unit as well. Most people don't use the FM function either. And if you look in the box here again, guys, you'll have two more wires. Okay. So inside the box, you will get the amp, remote control, and two wires. Okay. So take the tape. I'm going to tape the rubber band off right here. Throw it away. And this wire you won't be using, guys, unless the only reason you'll be using this wire is to be using the FM function, FM radio function off the amp. Otherwise, you won't be using this cable here at all, okay? So we'll just toss it to the side because this comes extra with it. Now, this is the speaker wire. So this has got two wires coming out of it, guys. And you'll see here one side black and red, and the other side's black and red. All right? So first thing you want to do is you want to grab your amp. Look at the back here. And you'll see a plug in here. It says speaker. So you just take this wire, and you'll see there's a little clamp at the very bottom. It's a little lock right here. It'll go at the bottom. So just go in here and lock it down. Simple as that, guys. So you want to figure which channel you want to use. You can use either channel for your speaker here. Doesn't make a difference as long as it's your one side here, black and red, or the black and red here. So in this case, these wires are a little short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip them back for you real quick, guys. And what I'm going to use, I'll actually use a cigarette lighter real quick to strip them back here. You can use pliers or wire strippers, but in this case I'm just doing this real quickly. Just heating the wire up and taking a little bit off of it. I'll take that off and I'll hook this up to my speaker. Okay. Alright. So, go to my speaker here. I have my red wire. I'm going to hook it up to here. And you need to hook it up to wire connectors or something, guys. I'm just doing this really quickly for the video's sake. But you'll need the wire connectors and so forth to connect it and tape it up correctly so keep the weather out of it and corrosion and so forth, right? So, I got the red one hooked up. Hook the black one up here. And if you're doing two horn system, guys, you'll do the same thing on the other two wires. So there's a two-channel system here. So we have an extra channel here if you want to use another horn and add another horn to it later on, right? So you can hook it up to either channel. Doesn't make a difference as long as you make sure you have your black and red, okay? Next is your power cable. So your power cable's here. You'll need to add some more wires. You can see here I've added some wire to it, for example. And you want to go here to the back of the amp, guys, and you can see where it plugs into. It's simple. It's self-explanatory. Just plug it in right there. It's the only place it can go. And you can see the light comes on, right? So right now we got power to it. All right. So when you first get it, volume probably be up pretty loud. You want to go ahead and set your treble and your bass and so forth. I like to set the treble up a little high at first, and the bass maybe about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway, and then turn the volume up about halfway. Okay, and I'll explain these buttons in a minute. So next you have your thumb drive, right? And now you have a sound pre-sound on here. I got an ice cream truck sound on here. And you see the lights on, guys, right? So it means it's powered up. Simply all you do is plug it in. So you'll see what it starts playing. Now, keep in mind, guys, you put one sound on this thumb drive. One sound. If you put more than one sound on that thumb drive, what happens? It'll play through to the next song. So when it gets done with the first song, it'll go to the next song, the next song. And there's no real way to really stop it. These horns were designed to use one sound on the thumb drive, and then you plug in and you play your sound that you want to play. If you've got a remote control, I want you to keep in mind too, if you're using a volume control on the remote control, it will only go for how loud that you have this set. So if you only have it halfway set, then the volume control will only go halfway and then down, right? So if you had it full blast, it will go full blast all the way down. So it depends on where you have the knob here set at, okay? You also have a skip option too, so you have more than one song, you get to skip through songs as well via the USB drive, right? Now, I'm going to unplug it and it'll stop the music instantly. Remember the cable I was telling you about a while ago if you want to hook your phone up to the back of it here? Well, here's the two plugs. It's a white plug and a red plug. You'll plug them into here, like this, the red one, and to the white one. Of course, you'll take your tie off here, and your white one here. And you simply, but you keep in mind you can't have a thumb drive in there at the same time. And then you undo your wire tie here and hook your phone, your tablet, your iPad, MP3 player, whatever you want to via this wire. But when you're not using it, just unplug it. You don't need to have it plugged in at all, okay? Still to the side. This is your FM antenna. And remember the wire a while ago? This is for your remote control system as well. I remember I was telling you about the FM system, but this is actually for your remote control. So you see the plug-in right here. If you use remote control, a lot of people don't use remote control, guys. Plug it in here, and this will work the remote control, okay? So be sure to use that cable only for the remote control, okay? But it's a pretty easy system. Like I said, if you have more than one sound, let me put another thumb drive in here for you real quick and show you what I mean by more than one sound. I got dual sounds on this one. Okay, that's one sound. That's another sound. Okay, you see what I'm talking about? I have two sound files on that thumb drive, and this is a different thumb drive. This is the one we have for testing here. But we've got one sound on here, and it's an ice cream truck sound, and it'll only go one way, guys. So if it doesn't go, don't force it in. Flip it back over. So if the thumb drive doesn't fit in the one way, guys, flip it over, because the thumb drives only fit in one way, okay? But it does have a reverse and stuff, like if you had multiple sounds. But keep in mind, like I said, this thing will play if you've got multiple sounds on your thumb drive. It'll play to the next one and to the next one, and it'll skip through. So, and some of these buttons here are for scanning through your FM, so you really don't need that. What I found is this back button right here. See how it pauses it? This little button right here. This will pause it. If you mainly got it set in here. See, that's FM radio now. I don't have the antenna up right. Right? So just play with the buttons, guys. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. And this, like I said, this will work for the 120 system too. The 120 amp that we have would be the X2 series. This is the X1 series. And our X2 series is basically about the same thing. As the amp's a little bit different, and the wire hookups is a little bit different for the speakers and stuff. But it's, like I said, it's pretty well self-explanatory when you hook it up. So it's really easy installation. And if, like I said, if you're using the remote control, be sure to hook this wire up in the remote control, because this receiver talks to the remote control and stuff. So if you're going to be using that, like I said, a lot of people don't use that, and if you lose it, then you're kind of screwed on the remote control part, but you still manually use it. Most people are mainly using this for sounds and so forth. So I would highly recommend also, guys, if you want to turn the unit off when they're not using it, put a kill switch in between the positive wire. So a toggle switch or something like that, so you can just turn it on and off. This particular amp does not have the off function like the MA120 we have, the X2 series. But you can put a toggle switch in between, or just leave it completely running, or just unplug it too as well. You can plug it and it won't play through. So that's the system here, guys. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, if you're hooking two horn systems up, like I said a while ago, we have two extra wires. We can hook up, two speakers. So the system is very loud with one speaker, but two speakers it absolutely is loud. So we've got to hook up, like I said, to a battery for the video here for you guys. And like I said, you'll be hooking up. You don't have to necessarily hook the amp to a battery, but you need to hook the positive up to either a fuse, maybe cut into a 12 volt that's got a 12 volt wire somewhere on the dash, wherever you're going to be hooking this up. Because if you're running wires all the way from underneath your dash, hooking this up to your dash, underneath your dash somewhere in your vehicle, then you will have a lot of wire to run outside underneath the firewall and so forth. So what you want to do is you want to find either a fuse block, a 10 amp fuse, or find a 12 volt wire somewhere underneath there and splice into it. If you don't understand how to do that, you might want to take it to a mechanic and so forth. A ground's a ground. You can find a ground about anywhere on a vehicle. So a good tight screw, it's hooked to metal somewhere, it's ground. So it doesn't necessarily have to go to your battery as well. Like I said, everything can be hooked up underneath the dash as far as a power source. And then, of course, your wire will have to go underneath your vehicle wherever you're putting your horn. Keep in mind, these horns are not waterproof. They're water resistant. They're pretty well sealed up and so forth, but they can get water in the inside of here. We do have a rubber seal in here. But keep in mind, they still can get wet if you really get them, like a boat or something like that. Do not get them splash water up on them in a lot of rain and so forth. And have it, maybe for example, you have it on a golf cart and you got it sitting outside. It's not going to work for long if you do that. And again, this amplifier needs to go somewhere where it's really dry, because it's not waterproof at all. And it usually goes under the dash or somewhere hidden, or where you can get to it, because what you would want to do is you want to mount it which way you're mounting under the dash, so you can have access to your thumb drive and so forth here, and your controls. Most people have the treble and the bass already preset, and all you do is your volume control, or you can do your volume control via your remote control. Okay, so guys, enjoy your Sonic series horn kit, or your double treble, which one you bought, X1, X2, or the double treble, whatever Sonic series we have. They're basically the same type of hookup. It's a really cool hookup, and hope the video helped you guys. And we'll talk to you guys soon. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. Talk to you soon.